love you guys. Thank you so much for sending a slice of the Space Coast to me once a week over here in San Antonio, Texas.
A bird sings in a foggy field, the wind blows from the
So,
sea.
are you just going to ask me questions and I can answer it and then we'll go from there?
It's after 10 and the little pond's reflecting the tree.
And you can edit out anything that makes me look stupid.
I'll think about your pretty smile and what it could mean.
Or if I say something really messed up that needs to be gone.
A lot of times I look at you and I feel green.
I don't call no girls in the middle
Like
of the night.
now.
You got the wrong number.
You tell me who you are.
Definitely. You like the Foo Fighters? No.
Welcome to another edition of the Adjust the Mic podcast. This is episode number 165 with my co-host, Colleen with it.
Oh, no, we're not doing that. I told him how back in the day when I worked at Grills that the cooks in the kitchen, that song, Lean
Colleen
with it,
with it.
rock with it. They'd always be like, Colleen with it, rock with it, when I'd come in there. It was just a joke.
So when I say Colleen with it, you got to go rock with it.
No.
That's our back and forth. That's going to be our little whimsical intro.
I can't be the craft beer queen anymore since I've hung up that hat.
It's a work in progress. I like Colleen with it.
We have a really good friend of the show with us today, Mr.
Also
Scott.
with us is our crimeologist,
Yes.
Rachel Hallberg. Also our always taking care of us over at Vine and Olive.
Yes.
Always. Christmas parties and you name it.
Yes, actually, we had a guest have a wedding rehearsal the other day. It was
yeah?
your coworker, Logan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He sure did. Logan's
Yeah.
awesome. I
He
love
was cool.
Logan.
He was cool.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's only been in the office a little over a year now, I think,
Yeah.
or so. And he's great. He was at the Christmas party as well.
Yes, that's
And
why
I heard they did everything up there.
Yeah, he told his mom, he's like, this is where we're having it.
Oh, that's awesome. So how you
It was
doing?
great. I'm good. Yeah, just
Yeah?
working a lot. Doing
Well,
lots of work.
we've supposed to have done this a few weeks ago, I
know.
think, and then another week. And you're so busy all the time. You always got stuff going on.
Anxiety as well, guys.
But we've kind of been talking about this behind the scenes for a while because we have a couple, like one crime story we're going to hold off on, right?
Yeah.
So-
We'll talk about Craig Becker when I can get Lauren here.
Okay, so we have that, and Rachel, you're kind of schooled on that subject already,
Yes, I did watch
But,
the Dateline. Thank you for that.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So we're gonna table that because we have one more person to talk. Are we at crime?
We're not a crime
podcast now?
podcast, but when
Do I
Rachel's
gotta,
on, we
do-
talk
do I
crime
have to
because this
change
girl
our
knows.
label.
Rachel's outlook on crime is so different than like mine. Like I was telling you before, like I used to watch the Datelines all the time. I'd watch freaking Oxygen and see women, whatever. But then like as soon as I had kids, it was like I was all of a sudden
Also with us is
being,
Butters and Blue and Jelly.
being faced with this horrible world, and I can't do it anymore. And you just watch that shit to go to sleep, and like you for real love it.
I do.
I don't know how you do it.
I don't know. I actually taught a 10-year-old and 8-year-old how to bury a body the other day. So
Oh my God, Rachel.
Oh my
know, I'm
god!
Do they always stop so shallow because digging a hole is actually very fucking hard? Like, has anybody actually tried to dig a hole in a long time?
I have
No. Like,
recently.
no.
It
Can you
sucks.
imagine
It's not
digging
good,
6
right?
feet? That ain't
It
happening.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that why there's so many shallow graves? People just give up. They're
They
like,
give up.
fuck this shit.
And then you cut a gas line or something crazy and
Right.
die.
You knock out all the power in Titusville. And you're like,
Yeah.
God damn it.
Well, there it goes. There it goes.
I was trying to be secretive.
I got 2 hours till it's fixed. Get to digging. God.
I mean,
We're
you see it on
sick.
TV all the time, and it's so easy for them,
Yeah. Yeah. You see it on a movie. It's
So.
like, get to digging.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
How do we first find out about your crime enthusiasm? It was the first time you were on, right?
Well, Colleen's known for a long time because
Okay.
we've known each other for
Yeah.
a while.
And we had you on a while back,
Yes.
and you kind of
Yes.
brought up something that has never left my mind.
The sweaty balls?
Well,
Sorry, I don't have any today.
that as well. Yes.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about.
A local.
No.
Oh, which one?
CrimeCon.
Oh, CrimeCon. Yes.
Oh, yes.
CrimeCon.
It's been so long now. It's been almost 3 years since I had planned to go to this.
And you haven't gone.
September.
It's in this September?
22nd through 24th.
Before we talk about anything, I feel like
Okay.
we have to set the stage for the enthusiasm of crime.
Yes.
So tell us, you are like a 10-year crime con vet? Or
I've never been to CrimeCon.
Okay.
I have followed it now since
I can't believe it's a thing.
I know.
So crazy.
I love
I tell
this.
people, I'm like, I'm going to CrimeCon. What? It's kind of like, Comic-Con, but for crime. So the one I was supposed to go to originally was in May of 2019.
Yeah, I was ready. I was ready to go.
And obviously, that didn't happen. But the guests were
You mean 2020?
2020?
Yeah, that's when it was, right? When it got canceled?
I guess. Well, yeah, I
Yeah.
guess that's 3 years now.
Yeah.
I don't know how to math. My mind is focused on other things, guys. Jose Baez, Nancy Grace.
So it's like
Dr.
popular
G.
names on your, I'm sure, wherever you get your crime
Keith
news.
Morrison.
So it's like the reporters and the
Body
like,
Movement
You're not
and John
seeing
Green.
murderers.
From
Like you're
Don't
seeing.
Fuck with Cats.
So
Oh,
like,
that's right. I
don't
totally
fuck with
forgot about
cats
the
people.
Don't
That's
Fuck with
why.
Cats.
Yeah.
That's where it was.
That is
Yeah.
why we were talking about it,
Yeah.
because you told me
I
to
love-
watch it. and
That's
then
one of
you
my
said watch
favorite
it.
crime series.
It was. I want to be Body
That
Moving.
was wild.
It was
One day I will
that
be Body
Facebook group
Yeah.
was like on it.
Yeah.
And people tried to come in and take power of the face. It was the core people
Yes.
that figured
Yeah,
it
dude.
out.
Yes.
Rachel's one of those people. I believe
I
her to
see
be
it.
like a fucking investigator, dude.
I'm
I see it.
trying.
Yeah.
And
One
then you're
day.
like Crime Con, and I'm like, man, it's all women.
Yeah.
Like it's the one place where a man has a chance.
For
Keith
associates.
Morrison. God, that's so awesome.
I mean, I know what my mind is like, but I can't imagine being in a room with
A bunch of
50
people.
other women who are that obsessed
I
with
bet,
Man.
I bet everyone in there is safe as fuck though, because ain't nobody trying to murder anybody in
Hey,
front of all those
that's
people.
what I was gonna say. How badass would it be for like a crime to be committed?
Like it's like a murder mystery show, but nobody knows. And it's like
everybody
all
there.
the crime con is like,
Yeah.
dude, this happened, but it really was just a big joke on all of you guys. Like,
they have something similar to that at these events.
Like an
of
escape
course
room,
they
this kind of
do.
thing?
Of course,
but
they do.
I'm curious, like if a real murder happened, like
God,
what
the
would we
poor
do?
police
Would we
interviewing
even
everybody
believe it?
there.
Everybody would give a statement.
Right.
All
Can
50,000
you imagine
people.
all the statements?
We got 50,000 statements and we have no idea who did it because everybody has an opinion.
Rachel would have her notes out right now on her phone.
But you probably get the most accurate description from all
Oh,
of
yeah.
us because we're all always blue shirt, backwards hat.
That's the perp.
Yeah, that's it.
All the terminology is correct.
But everything else would be like, nah, well,
Whenever you go places, do you constantly think somebody's trying to murder you?
no.
Okay.
But I always look around and kind of. Have you ever watched Psych?
Yes.
Okay, I kind of pull
Fucking love that show.
I kind of pull a Sean Spencer and
Okay.
I count the hats and
Yes,
I count the blue
yeah, yeah.
shirts but I'm very comfortable going places by myself. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I lived up north, I always went to Boston by myself. I would walk around Boston by
Yeah.
myself. New York City by myself. Like
I'm way too comfortable being by myself as well and walking and
Yeah.
probably some areas I probably shouldn't at
Yeah,
times.
not me.
And it's never, I've never but it is in the back of your head.
yeah.
And if it happened, you fucking panic and you freak
Yeah.
out, whatever, but I
But
don't
I'll
know.
if I'm like walking by myself in the streets dark,
My
like
crime
I'll,
dar is not
I'll
very
take
good.
I'll take a picture of like a street sign or something. Like, okay, this was my
Do you
path.
keep your keys
If-
like in
if-
between your fingers?
I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
The
do.
first 48 was one that was real big and unsolved mysteries as a kid.
Oh, unsolved
Yeah.
mysteries.
Y'all know.
But that was the worst because they were unsolved. Like you go to bed and you're like, I do not feel good about anything. And the UFO shit, that would
Do you know
really get me.
yeah.
Angel on Rural Radio
I
Yes.
saw his.
with his brother and everything? I mean,
Yes.
that was insane.
The last time you were on, we
Yeah,
were
we
talking
talked
about
about
it.
this.
Oh,
That
that's
was,
right, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the first time it came out. Yeah.
Man, it's
I
just
haven't even watched
insane.
the next season. I need to.
I haven't.
Dude, I just throw myself into Bravo so much. It's ridiculous.
She can give us all the Vanderpump updates.
Listen, I finally figured out a way to explain it to people in reference to Friends, and that's what I'm going with from now on when I try to describe the whole scandal of it all.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's a
Because
show.
all I watch is
Oh my
true
God.
crime shows.
So it's Vanderpump Rules. It's a bunch of servers basically at this restaurant. It's been
Ah.
following them for decades.
Okay.
But it's basically like picture on Friends. If Monica and Chandler have been together forever, and Chandler just started sleeping with Rachel behind Monica's back,
Oh.
and
So it
then
is a server
and then
life.
Monica found out like that her best friend for this long and her husband has been basically having an affair on her, And it was just so shocking because everybody thought the girl was making, like, doing some shit with his best friend. But it was all just a fucking ruse because they were banging. All had planned. It's fucking crazy.
Bang-a-lang.
But anyways, I mean, this could be like some crime shit. I'm sure that might be next for them. I don't know. Anyways, back to murder. Murder and mayhem.
My favorite.
Crime.
Yeah.
So
what about our local crime? Rachel, you were trying to fill me in on everything that's going on in Titusville.
Yeah, we've got a couple things, right?
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Crosley Green is the biggest thing right now.
Yeah.
Kim
That's a pretty big deal.
Kardashian's following that one
Yeah.
for the Innocence Project.
When Kim Kardashian posted about it,
Yeah.
I was like,
That's
damn.
insane.
Yeah.
That stuff's going off everywhere, man. It's popping off right now. And it popped off a while ago.
Yeah. So he's been
And-
out 2 years now, right? Waiting for an appeal.
Mm-hmm.
Because the original one got overturned. So he's waiting for an appeal, but now they've completely backtracked all that. And now he's actually today?
Yeah. Today I turned himself
Today?
in.
I think it was Monday.
Wait. Is today Tuesday?
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
yesterday
Yesterday.
afternoon, I
Yeah.
think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we need a backstory for this for people that don't know what we're talking about?
I guess.
Because, like, I don't know a lot about it. I just learned from you guys telling me.
So 1989. Am I allowed? I can use all the names.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kim Halleck and Chip. I can't think of Chip's last name right now.
I'm not sure. It's
Yeah.
on the...
Flynn. They were
Yeah.
up in Mims, and Kim. They were parked, and Kim said a black man came and robbed them, and then started to drive the truck, and then pulled over again and took Chip out of the truck, and Chip and the black man got into an altercation. Chip was shot. Kim took the truck and drove to a friend's house. Took about 90 minutes for her to call the police, passed a couple payphones, and the black man got away. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize that she drove the truck when I was.
She
getting
did-
So
she did
I
drive
thought
the
when you
truck.
were saying like she was looking for a friend's house or something, like I could see it taking a long time to go 2 miles.
No, she
But in a
drove.
vehicle.
She drove the truck from the Groves, the Orange.
Yeah, and then the
Groves to-
police called the police eventually,
Yeah.
and then they didn't get to him past him. We'll
Yeah.
go into more detail
Yeah.
later. But the gentleman passed away, and
Yes.
Cosley was convicted
Yes,
of the murder that he either did or didn't do.
and he's maintained his innocence for 30 years
Yeah.
now.
Right.
And so then there's been appeals and and stuff, and he is now. Then he got out while an appeal was happening.
Yes.
That I guess he lost.
Yeah.
But I think they thought it was a pretty sure thing and let him out or something. I don't know.
I think the reason why they let him out at that time during that appeal was because they didn't think he got a fair trial. But then the Supreme Court said he did, and that's why he is now back in prison.
Yeah.
So why do so many people think he didn't get a fair trial, and then the Supreme Court can say that he did? Like, what was the evidence?
So he they did find hair DNA in the truck that was familiar to Crosley, but his brother actually owned that truck previously. And the description that Kim had given wasn't, the best description, but there's no other like specific DNA.
So his brother was never a suspect, only he was?
Correct. No, there was no
And
other.
just so I don't, just so we're like legal and stuff.
Oh yes. Sorry.
We might misrepresent some numbers or some shit here. You know what I mean? Let's
Yeah.
just disclaim the shit out of this. We're
But-
not professionals in any way.
Correct.
We have opinions and
I
stuff.
don't
but
think there was any other suspects. I think it was directed at Crosley. He was just released from prison for something at that
he was
time
supposedly
as
at a
well.
party a couple miles away.
Correct,
You know,
yeah.
is what
So
his
he was in the
alibi
area.
was. Yeah.
Okay.
But he either way he spent 30 years in prison and has maintained his innocence, and there was no other suspects looked at. It's a weird story, and it's very hard to talk about it because there are people obviously in this area that have very strong opinions.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's the
every-
reason we're talking about. Let's just get this out. It's we're
It's
a local
happening
podcast.
right
We
now.
talk about
Yeah.
Yeah.
Titusville stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Usually it's food. Usually it's not, opinionated things because we
Right.
try to stay out of that area and stay in the gray, and we love everybody, you know,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So usually we don't try to go too hard in the paint
Yeah.
at anything in
Yeah.
particular, but at
This
the
is kinda
same
hard to
time,
ignore.
Yeah.
this one here, and I'm gonna take over the mic for just a second, like I'm so good at doing.
Please.
And this is hard for me to say. I'm just going to be very honest with you guys. I have such a close relationship with people involved in this that are like family to me and like family friends to me that I've known for 15 years before I even heard about this story. And when I first heard about the story, it was like in a drunken night thing that I probably even forgot about the next day. And then it got brought up, and then it was like, yeah, and then this, 60 Minutes thing came out, and me and my ex-wife now were watching it at home, just as neighbors to people involved with this. And it's so it's heartbreaking to see people that you kind of really, or not kind of, but that you love, and that you have your lifespan of knowing, and then hear this.
Right.
And when you really see what's going on with the case itself, your heart's strung because part of you wants to be super defensive, but part of you is very empathetic of the situation. And I'm just an empathetic person as is.
Right.
I don't have that, fuck that person. I don't have that in me. So 30 years is a long time. No matter, like, I'm not going to give you my opinion on the mic, just out of respect. But I think when, you hear what I'm saying, I have doubt and questions, and I feel things should be answered, just for human empathy
Right.
reasons, not
Right.
for any malice or to harm anybody or to prosecute or hurt anybody. Because I think we're 30 years in this. Let's let this shit go. And let's give this man his life.
Right.
That's
Right.
the only thing that I feel like I can say, in respect, I guess, the people that I love. You know what I mean?
Yes. 1,000%.
So, and it's, I know a lot of people, not just one person involved in this.
It's so crazy how many people
I know
you
like
know.
2/3 of the equation in a way.
Right.
And growing up around here, and I know the names of people involved. I know a lot of whispers around this town. It's Titusville, man. I mean,
Yep.
it just is Mims.
Yep.
Mims. That's all, it is what it is, man. There's a lot of crazy things.
Yeah, there's
And
not
a
much
lot of
else
crazy,
to talk
and
about.
a lot of crazy stories.
Yeah.
Me and my coworkers today, like we had a slow day at work, and my best friend Jared, who's been on this podcast as a co-host, me and him sit right next to each other at work, and we talk everything. Okay, and we debated this case all day long.
Right.
Like I said, let me play devil's advocate, and you pick it apart, and we just kind of back and forth all day. And I mean, there are valid points, and there are things that can be negotiated out as circumstance, that you can kind of pick apart. And parties have gone on, like there's a full on Facebook battle going on right now
Titusville crime.
with Titusville crime, and it's popping off. And when you see, I'll never respond or comment in any of that. I don't do online drama in any way, shape, or form.
I do.
In my relationships.
Yeah, you do.
You do.
I love it.
Like Chris used to get into it too, man.
Yes.
We used to watch Chris get
Chris
all
couldn't
up in it.
help himself,
I miss
man.
Chris, man.
Like he could not help
Love
himself.
you, buddy. But it's a principle of mine. Like even when it goes, like if I'm gonna like get in a serious relationship with a woman, if I'm gonna go back, and if you're crazy on the internet and you pop off, I'm so scared of what you're gonna do if you get mad at me
Right?
and pop off on me. And it's like, Scott does this, Scott takes baths for a long time or whatever, and pops that shit off on me online. I'm gonna be devastated because it'll be forever.
Right.
And like I grew up in a time when the internet wasn't there, and so
Yeah.
all of the crazy bad shit that I've ever done, unless I say it on the podcast, I admit a lot of shit.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
We are safe.
You know,
for now.
For now, until we're exposed for something.
Yeah.
But like, I don't. I'm not that person. I don't need a bunch of people to know how mad or happy I am at somebody. Personally,
I'm just crazy. It's
I'll get on Twitter and I'll talk some shit on Twitter now. If it's sports and basketball, I will talk shit and argue
I'm
the best
banned
of them.
from Twitter.
Are you?
What?
Jared's been banned like 15 times. He's got like.
I can't even use an
figuring it
email. My email address for Twitter.
So what'd you do?
Blue.
What'd you do?
I told someone they were an idiot. I don't know. It wasn't even that bad.
It's so
People
weird.
do a
like,
lot more.
I know.
There's full on sex on there
I said,
that does not
me
get
and
banned.
Trump, we're banned from Twitter. I don't know why.
It's like every time I type anything now, I second guess every single fucking word because I'm like, what word is going to trigger an algorithm that's going to ban me?
Yeah.
But I don't tweet anything. I just like to read Twitter.
I delete a lot now. I'll type out a whole thing, and then I'm like, ooh, you know what? I kind of have a job where I'm like a face right now for Vine, so I gotta be good. Delete that, and then I'll do something more simple. But
I always find Heather in my head. Our friend Heather, she's so good with words
She
and
really
just the
is.
way she presents herself to like everybody. I'll be like, what would Heather do? Like for real, how would Heather deal with this? Or I will just call her and be like, dude, I want to say this. What do I really say? And she comes up with the best PC answer.
yeah,
I'm
she
like,
is
my
really-
girl.
she is really good. She's really
Rachel
talented.
needs a friend like that, man. I've seen what Rachel wants to type out.
I
I've been
know.
And I
like,
love it. I love it.
I've been in these Tom and Dan Facebook groups, like the
Yeah.
private groups, you
Yeah.
know, with they call it the 200, you know, and I'm still in there with them. I love all these people, but like, I've watched the drama.
Yeah.
I've watched like, oh, let's all go together to this event, and you go to an event with 50 or 60 people, and everybody starts to bundle up into their groups,
Yeah.
right? And talk, oh, that one over there, this one, oh, cool, I want to go meet her. You know what I mean? And like, I'm there just to be friends with everybody.
Yeah.
But then you see these clicks, and then when you get online, you start seeing the jabs and the.
Yeah.
Then people start private messaging. You'll get in a group of 3 or 4 of them, and they go, "Don't we hate everybody?" And it's like, well, I don't, but I'm going to act like I do and sit in here and listen to all you guys.
I mean, yeah.
Well,
and,
we hate
and it just
everybody.
there's just drama.
Picture the
and it
crime
creates-
people fighting.
So-
so we're going back to that. Like,
So that's
I'm
exactly
literally
what
with
I'm
these
doing. Yeah.
DMs, like back
Yeah.
and forth.
Yes.
I mean, I would be scared as
Right?
shit of somebody who takes this stuff seriously enough to DM me.
Good.
I
So
mean,
no, I'm staying back on
So
that.
the main woman that's posting
Yeah.
in crime, Titusville crime, her name's Tina. I don't know if she has any
Gotta look
connections,
this shit up.
but she is literally posting like every hour something about Crosley in defense
Defending
of
him?
Yeah.
Yes, in defense of. I can't imagine that she's not getting private messages.
Oh yeah, they're all
From-
talking about this privately. Like
Yeah.
there's private messages going off with that
Like-
subject
like,
right
you
now
better- you better pull
online,
this down.
on
But-
Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram,
Yep.
on every. As soon as Kim Kardashian picked it up, the whole there's
It went
countries, there's
crazy.
states
It
probably with
crazy.
people talking
Yeah.
about it. It's so
Do you think
unfortunate.
she's gonna come here?
It's so unfortunate, huh?
You think Kim Kardashian's coming to Titusville, Florida?
She will
doubt
never
it.
come to Titusville, but she might send some people.
I mean,
She might do something about it.
yeah.
I mean, all she has to really do is say things, and things kind of happen.
I mean, her track record so far is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty
Can
crazy
she help with the water?
that she
Yeah, that freaking water.
that it's picked up. I mean, but
Yeah.
it's, like I said, it's been on 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
It's been on a
It's
lot
huge.
of big.
It's
Was it Dateline?
Yeah.
it was on Dateline
that's the-
too.
right? That's the one that
Is that which one it was? Dateline.
I think
yeah.
so.
Wait, you know what? I don't know.
I'm
I
messing
need to,
them up now.
I think it's 60 Minutes or
I
30
need to go
for
on
30.
YouTube.
One of those.
Scott said
kind of
just
things.
YouTube it.
Yeah, just do the. It's on everything. But then there's certain people that have been reporting it for a long time
Yes.
and everything. I mean, I feel that it's so wild that I am seeing people post where people hang out. Like, how dangerous does that
Oh, yeah.
that get?
Yeah.
I feel like we should all be able to have opinions and we should all be able to voice them however we want. But I don't feel like you get like a party out to seek out and destroy
Right.
as the public.
Right.
I think you let the appropriate channels do that.
I agree.
But at the same time, like, I understand the empathy. And I understand the caring over doing what is right. And I think
Yes.
always doing what's right, it has to trump everything else.
Right.
ultimately, no matter who I'm friends with, your friend, whoever, anybody has an opinion on, like, so when you're in law, I feel like that, like, there should be nothing closed in that process and nothing hidden from anybody in that process,
Right.
from another human that's just interested. I guess it can be, there's a slope there. There's probably something I'm thinking of that when I'm saying this, well, there's an exception.
Yeah.
But I feel like most everything should be pretty transparent to
I
where,
agree.
and if it's wrong, I feel like I feel like when you're in a negative situation as a human and you're like, let's say you're in you're working and you're constantly working like prisoners, like Charlie had to do,
Right.
every day. And
Right.
our friend Tony, so many people, Mac, that we've known for years. My dogs are just at it right now. This is the time they already ate.
Yeah.
This is like, everybody's home for part time. Guys, Blue, leave them alone. Blue, be nice. Be nice. I know you're the best. You're the best. You're the fastest. But like when you're in an environment, and I'm not speaking from any knowledge. I'm totally, throwing this out there.
Yeah.
You start to have quicker judgments and opinions because you're around a person, those type of situation or
Yeah.
person. So you feel like you pick them out a lot, and I feel like a lot of times it's true, and you can, but it's got to bring in this negativity on you, and you're constantly being schemed, and you're constantly trying to be this and that.
Yeah.
To where you get to this dull as a human, like you can't be a happy person and be in these situations to where you're dealing with people that are unhappy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Incarcerated.
Right.
Yeah.
In prison. Always being detained. Whatever. Even if it's overnight or misdemeanors, or a judge that's constantly seeing, crime all day. It's got to psychologically
Yeah.
do something to you to where you try to streamline it or try to take the emotion out of it, or you try to do, some people probably drink or whatever. Everybody
Yeah.
does something. And I think that, like in my job, we find ways to cut corners too, not that affect humans or affect driver or, people, but like to cut corners to make things quicker. I think in the big scheme of things happen in micro ways. And then when you look at it a year later, go, wait a minute, look at the effect that it's having.
Right.
So many people are too proud to look behind them and say, I fucked up.
Right.
Okay, so I feel like lawyers, judges, politicians, like times 50, corporations, anybody who holds a sturdy opinion and doesn't change their mind, is hiding something
Yeah.
or is holding something back. You should be able to admit when you're wrong.
Yeah.
You
Show
know,
some
and-
growth.
And I think that is a societal thing. And I think that's what's holding Cosley back. I think that's what's holding a lot of people and a lot of things back. I think that's a barrier of people saying that I failed and I
Yeah.
did something wrong,
Yeah.
because they're so scared of the repercussion or the judgment of that, because the judgment is harsh. We're not forgiving to many people. It takes a freaking feat. You could even not have done something and someone's like, well, he's the guy that they said did this, but he really didn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's always there, that stigma. So I understand that people that try to hold back as long as they can on it, but at the same time, it's ultimately not right.
No.
And we all know that. And that's just,
Well, too, and like
Is
what
what
it
it
comes
is.
down to, a lot of people are still like this because they've never seen people who like have admitted that they fucked up, and then you see their growth from it. Like, I hate to go back to my reality shows, but some of the best part about reality shows is where you're watching a show and at the beginning of the season you're like, this guy's a fucking dick. Fuck this guy. What a prick.
yeah.
But then everyone calls him out on his shit, and he actually makes changes, and you see that
Yeah.
person admit that they're wrong, and then they do all the things you're supposed to do to make
Yeah.
up for it, and you change as a person and you grow. Where there's a lot of people, they can't check their egos at the door. They're just like, no, man, like, if I admit this, like, nobody's gonna forgive me. I just gotta take this to the grave, whether that affects somebody else or not. And like,
Yeah.
it just kind of sucks that like people can't check their own egos. And
I'm going to give you my addiction real quick, okay? This is, I told Colleen a little bit earlier.
is this the beef?
The
beef show?
Okay. Well, let's we can kind of bounce this off of that, but we're not getting off crime completely. I don't want to just like
No.
push that subject away if we have more to say or anything. But on the internet, one thing that I do, and I think that's why I like this show Beef, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but I like it so much, is drama is very addictive.
Yes.
Okay, if you're
Yes.
walking in a grocery store and a fight breaks out, are you going to just keep grocery shopping, or are you going to stop and go, "Whoa, what the fuck's going on?"
Right.
I'm gonna pull out
You know,
my
pull out your
phone.
phone, like, "Oh shit!"
Just kidding. I would never do that.
And that's life. That world star mentality. It's life,
know.
man. It's the internet.
Right.
And we have to understand that so many people do not live on the internet and do not know anything
Right.
that's going on. They still watch basic television, you know, with an antenna or with their local cable with whatever channels are on that cable. And then they have YouTube and their internet, you know, stuff to play on. But a lot of people don't have the
That's
same
me.
experiences that what I'm about to say
Yeah.
is I watch like all these crazy Walmart skirmishes, the Waffle House ones, the
With the chair.
oh my
Caught
god,
it midair.
dude, she caught that chair and threw it back. Like
What? No.
You've never
there's
seen that?
no-
Colleen.
there
You live
are
under a rock.
there
pretty
are
much.
fights with like old
It was
men
insane.
trying like little kids or like teenagers and teenagers show that motherfucker up. There's times where the kid gets shown up. There's times when like I watch all of it and it's all this drama and it's these motherfuckers that are just so like they just have to get the last word in. They just can't not, you know.
Right.
But then I'm also seeing like when you go to Portland, you look at Portland, Oregon, and you look at certain cities. Like I watch on YouTube this one guy. He goes to all these crazy areas, like the hoods of all these big cities and stuff, and he like walks around with a chauffeur that kind of shows him around. Right? What you got there, girl?
They're watching the Waffle House video.
Oh, are you really?
She literally picked up a chair, threw it. The girl caught
Caught
it.
it.
I just saw it.
And
She
threw it
just
right
caught
back.
it.
Like, like fucking Hulk
I
his
would
shirt
love
off
to think
and
that that's how I'd react in a situation.
No, no.
crazy, right?
I'd be,
Sorry.
I'd be underneath the chairs.
Hiding.
There's a tornado warning. guys.
I would have grabbed that shit though for real.
But like
Throw it
I
back
can't,
down and
can't stop,
Yeah.
guys. Like I watch all this shit when I got free time.
I guess
I'm
it's better
off
than the
TikTok
girls
completely.
on TikTok, huh?
I was pooping watch TikTok. I'm not even on TikTok because China's spying on me on there, so I don't watch TikTok anymore.
You hear
I'm
this,
joking
Brent?
about that, but that is kind of crazy. All the shit that's going on.
You can't even go, like.
I just don't
they
have the
banned it
time.
at UCF,
I'll
right?
be honest with you, I just don't have the time to sit there and
Okay.
scroll on this
I
shit.
only
I have
watch
to get off of
TikTok
it.
because there's a true crime series that I follow on it.
Oh my god.
My Instagram reels all show TikTok videos.
But
So
Brent
I
said
just
it's like
like,
2
eh.
months too slow. Like all the videos
It
that are on there,
probably.
it's like he's already seen them.
But like,
I'm not.
when you
into it.
watch all this stuff and you see all these shopping sprees, people are just going like I was in Titus. Okay, I was at on the corner of Garden at the Walgreens liquor store,
Yeah.
and when I walked in, there was a gentleman at the front counter holding. It looked like he was holding a bag of stuff. I didn't think anything of it. I just walked to the back to get what I was getting, and as I was walking up, the guy took off running, and the lady was screaming at him. I guess he stole everything.
Holy crap.
He stole like a whole thing of stuff, and I guess he brought a bag in with him or something. Like he was going in shopping, and like the lady, she was like, "I'm pretty new here, you know, so I didn't know what to do," and I was freaking out. And the lady next door came over, the manager, and she was like, "It happens every week, happens all the time. There's nothing we can do. We don't have security. We can't have our people attacking and holding these guys." And they just know that, you know, if they do get in trouble for it, nothing really is happening
Right.
that's
Wow.
hurting them.
Right.
So it's just they need that stuff and they want, like, because everybody else has it. And if you can't have, but what's happening, it's not so much people that want this stuff, they're reselling this stuff. So like people
So
are
get
going
cash.
into like Nike stores in Oregon and all these places, and they're just walking in with like a crew of people,
Right.
and it's like the same people getting arrested a lot of times, the same, you know, and they're just misdemeanor. They're not getting held because, you know, there's a nationwide wait. We're trying not to imprison everybody, give people chances, and try to. It's not working.
It's not working.
I feel like if you're a repeat, like you want to give people chances, but if it's repeating and you don't see a behavior change, I feel like there needs to be certain people that are in charge, like caseworkers, just like there is for kids, and say this person's consistently until I see signs he's not going to get better. We need to, do this or keep it. Something needs to happen. I'm not saying I don't want prisons overflowing with a bunch of bullshit.
Right.
It's the last thing I want.
But
I also, if people are consistently hurting the public, and making the public who are working and doing all this, and I want everybody to have a chance. I have no, you know what I mean? I want everybody to have a chance to do anything. I don't, have any biases over anybody having a choice of what they want to do in their life, but I don't do it illegally or at at somebody else's other humans' expense or hurt. And it's just, I see it happening everywhere. I can't stop watching the bullshit because I don't get it, you know? And
I don't watch that.
so I'm crazy.
Obviously.
I go way too deep in that shit. So which is crime, and crazy, and seeing all this crazy shit happen. I used to watch like rotten.com back in the day and seeing dead,
Aren't you guys afraid?
crazyshit.com and consumption junction. I used to watch all that shit.
Okay, so you're thinking this, you're watching this, like, aren't you like
I watched a
aware
girl
of the
poop
fact
upside
that, like,
down in a shower of yellow something.
you
came out
attract
of her
what you
butt
think, right?
and
Like
float all over.
Like you guys know that's a true thing. Like you attract what you think. Like so, if you're happy, you're attracting happiness back at you.
What
Yeah,
makes you
yeah.
think
So,
that
like-
I'm not
that.
happy watching
No. But I'm
crime
saying, like,
shows?
how do you, like, when you see violence after violence after violence, how do you not like feel like you might be attracting that into your life at some point? Like I don't understand. Like I don't know how to separate that. Like
Did we not talk about what happened when I was 13 years old? That violence has been in my life all.
We did
So
not
what-
talk
it's
about
like-
that.
Yeah, we did. My brother, my half brother, my stepbrother.
he murdered.
You still never watched that episode. Yeah.
I watched
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Also, I think
Rachel's got
about
crime in her
that.
blood. Like, well, I don't know if I'd say
Yeah.
literally,
That's
but
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I watch a lot of the things I watch because it makes me like. I watch hoarders.
because then you don't feel alone.
No, because I feel better about my life.
I'm sorry.
I'm not that bad.
Yes, that's how I feel about the housewives.
Right.
Like for real.
I'm not that crazy. I know I'm not crazy enough to go kill somebody.
Do you
and
watch
get
my
caught.
600-pound life every once in a while when you've eaten too much and you're like, well, I'm not there.
I watched
That's
the
a good
weird
I
obsession
haven't seen
ones,
that.
like
Sometimes
the
I
people
do.
that eat, like have pica. And
Oh,
how
I
they-
know. I feel like
That's
when my
weird,
kids have
too.
pica.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they
Oh,
just eat like fucking rocks and fucking
Yeah.
couch cushions and shit.
laundry detergent.
Oh my god, I know. Like these people are gonna
This is not a Tide Pod
like
ad
whatever.
or challenge.
That show is weird.
So do we watch the things that we watch as for a subconscious reason of
I think
our
so.
life?
Yeah,
I think so.
it's what calms you, right? Like
So you watch Vanderpump Rules.
I watch
because-
Bravo. Okay, like
and all the
Reality
you
TV,
like Charlie
all that.
and all 90 Day Fiancés
Yeah.
and all these Bachelor Bachelorette
no, I don't. Well, I'll watch Bachelor in Paradise, but not the actual shows.
Survivor.
Fuck yes,
Okay.
Big Brother,
Big Brother.
The Challenge,
Okay.
all that.
All the road rules back in the day.
Oh
Yes.
yes, never miss
I was
a road
gonna
rules.
say I've not watched reality TV since Real World Road Rules.
Like Puck and all them. I used to
Oh, yeah.
watch all that.
She was talking about the guy, the dick.
Yeah, Puck.
Puck came to mind and was like,
Mm-hmm.
that is not always the case, Colleen. They do not change. Puck is still Puck.
Ugh, gross.
And
Rest
then,
in peace,
then there
Pedro
was
and DM.
No,
the one that I was real big on was the Osbournes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved the
listen,
Osbournes.
I've watched reality TV.
Karen.
Fucking love
Like he
Ozzy.
was just Karen.
You go from that to like Flavor
Talk-
of Love, Rock of Love. I loved all that. Tila Tequila.
Oh,
I watched
yes.
every reality show possible at one point.
I watched a little bit
like,
with the
ugh.
Flavor when he was with what's her name,
Flavor
and they were in the rehab.
Oh,
place.
Bridget Nielsen
Yeah, I watched. And Ron Jeremy
from
was in
The
there.
Surreal Life.
I
Wasn't Ron
forgot-
Jeremy on that
yeah.
too?
That was
I
The
forgot
Surreal
about
Life.
Bridget.
Oh, and Celebrity Rehab. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a shit show. That was a
Dude,
shit
The Surreal
show.
Life was it that or the Rehab with Vern Troyer when
Oh,
rest
when
in
he
peace,
peed
where
in
he
the
peed in the corner. Like
Like I was a big Viva La Bam, like watching
Yes,
all.
I watched that too.
Like I have all the CKY videos
Well,
and the DVDs.
can we talk about BAM for a second?
the hits?
Oh,
yeah,
fucking Bam.
yeah.
You know, BAM is
bad off.
in a conservatorship now,
No, I
Just-
didn't know that.
just like Britney.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
free Britney. But yeah,
It was
he
probably
got,
needed.
He got he got real bad.
So I've been like I follow Brandon Novak on Instagram.
Same.
And Brandon Novak was probably back when I was watching the CKY videos and then Jackass, Viva La Bam, all the shows. He would be there and they would play a part, but it was usually hurting himself.
Yeah.
And he was usually really drugged out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was very known. If you know his story and about him and his mother and everything he put his mother through and put other people, like everything he put himself and where he is now,
Yeah, it's
you're
incredible.
like, wow.
Novak?
Steve, yeah.
I'm gonna have to look at.
Oh,
Well,
you have
Brandon
to because he
Novak.
was one of the like, man, like he was such a
and
talented
Steve-O.
skateboarder.
Yeah, Steve-O.
Steve-O is come around and he's out. So
But,
Bam was always the one
that
taking care
time.
of them. Like he was always
Yes.
the one that was like, yeah, let's do that. But he drank and hung out. But
I'm sure
but
Ryan
he
Dunn didn't help.
skateboarded. He worked his
Yeah,
ass off.
yeah.
And then when Ryan
I think
Dunn
that messed him up bad.
passed away, that was his best friend. Things like.
But like
he was
that era
off of TV.
that you're talking about right there. Think about that era. This was back when pain pills were just like
Yeah.
becoming popular,
Yes.
and you know that they
All
ain't
the
getting through all
Roxys
of
and-
those
yep.
things and doing all those stunts without getting painkillers prescribed, and that just fucks with a person. Then you drink on top of it, and back then it wasn't like nobody knew how disastrous it was
Correct.
going to be.
Yeah.
And thankfully,
Yeah.
some of them were able to get out, but Bam just never like left that lifestyle. I feel like,
Yeah.
and he was just hanging on, and now he is where he's at, and everybody else is where they are, like
Yeah.
doing well. And it's just so unfortunate to see because Bam
And they're
was
trying.
the one.
They love
he
him,
was
and
the
they're
one who
trying,
helped.
but-
Like he was the man behind it all.
Yeah.
Like
He's the man.
He was.
And he got kicked off of his own,
Yeah.
movie.
Movie set, yeah.
And because he is disruptive for it, and they love him. That's a loss. He's the heart of all this stuff.
Right.
I
used to have such a
some
crush
of
on
my
him too, man.
some of my favorite skits and funny moments that are just the grossest things in the world was all his old CKY videos. Like they used to like poop on the side of windows in downtown, and then other people watched them go ew, and it's this guy wrap himself, where they'd put on like rollerblades and jock straps, and then they would like roller skate through the parks, and watching people stop and look and go, what are they doing? And they used all the crazy. I loved it. It was great.
So crazy, right? Because like even Johnny Knoxville turned out all right.
Yeah.
Oh, he turned
Yeah.
out great. Like
Yeah.
I mean, he's killing it. But it's like fucking Bam, that just sucks.
I loved him, man. So I hate seeing it.
Yeah.
Same.
I
Like
hate
it
seeing
really
it.
fucking
God,
sucks.
yeah, that was. Dude, crime.
All right, I think we need to take a break and come back and
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
yeah.
the Casey Anthony thing because
Casey
we've got
Anthony.
way
Okay.
off track. And I
All right.
wanted Rachel just
And I
started
know it's a
watching
little
that.
after 7, so you got to hurry. So we'll
Yeah, I
take a
gotta-
quick break and
okay.
come right back.
All right, bye.
The cheapest package they had was $800.
It's okay. We're gonna get our Disney passes back again because they're almost like affordable again.
I'm getting my Universal passes back.
Yeah, because like SeaWorld passes, the kids can't do shit at SeaWorld. They're not tall enough. They can't. Those roller coasters are way too fucking
Right,
intense.
and the characters are a little too young for them
It's
now.
like so none of that works. I mean, it was nice to go a couple times, but I'm fucking ready to go back to Disney. They're gonna lose their goddamn minds when we pull into Magic Kingdom. I'm not even kidding. I mean, like I think Declan and Kiki might actually cry.
So,
And
we're
the
back.
train's going
We are
back.
back.
Yes.
And I'm just totally going to stop and let you finish talking because Disney is, I want to ask you questions about it.
Okay.
So go ahead and finish.
No, all I was saying was like I think we're getting our Disney passes back because like, we just miss it. Like, it's so different than, like, you go to SeaWorld, it's like you can tell it's such a step down. I appreciate what they've tried to do, but it's like when you go to Disney, everything's nice, the people are knowledgeable, they know what's going on. The only issues that we've had is the whole not having a fast pass thing and trying to figure out if the kids would be able to wait in these lines to go on rides. They would still get their DAS pass, their disability pass, which would, I guess now is all online, which is way better than before, because before you'd have to go to that ride, they'd be like, hey, the line is this long, come back in an hour and a half. But you'd have to go to that ride, go to the front, find a cast member, do all that shit. And now apparently it's all online. They open the train back up. Like, I'm trying to tell Brent, I'm like, I think we could make it work, because all of their therapists at school all have passes to Disney.
Oh, yeah.
So during the summer, they can miss a day of school. We can go to Disney. The therapist can go with us, and they can help us with all that. So it's like,
You answered all my questions with what you just said. So good job.
yeah. So
I'll be at Universal with Harry Potter.
yeah. I think when the kids are older, we'll definitely look into universal passes. But
Thank you.
for right now, like, Disney's just like, that's where it's at. I miss being a Disney mom, for real.
Yeah, Universal has more alcohol.
Yeah.
They do.
That's definitely not a concern right now for me.
Well, with having the passes back in the day, like, the reason I was okay with the spending that much money was because I could set up a fast pass to at least 2 or 3 rides before we went, so at least we knew we could get on them quickly. Because everywhere I despise hour and a half lines. I can deal with it, and I'll do it, and I've done it. Sat in one with 4 hours with Joe Miller because he was late to see Avatar, and we did it, and we loved it. It was awesome to get to.
I heard there's
That
virtual
line
queues
sucked.
now I need to look into doing, because, like, or even with the Genie Pass and stuff. Like, I told Brent, I was like, if we do it, we can make it a special day if we want to do the Genie Passes, where you pay extra to get fast passes for certain rides. But it all depends on what rides, too, because I heard it's not all of them. And it's like, you know, but our kids, like, they really like, Declan could ride the monorail literally the whole time.
Yeah.
I love
The
the
train
monorail.
is open back up. The train has not been open in 3 years.
The Carousel of
Declan
Progress?
loves that train. That's there.
That's
they
the
don't
best.
they don't ride that one, but the People Mover's right next to it, and that's Keegan's jam. And I told Brent, like, all those rides, like, those aren't rides. Like you don't get a fast pass anyway.
No, you
so
just get right on
we
this
can get a
5-minute.
DAS pass, go ride a ride, go to People Mover, get another one. Like, we will make it work. It will be more fun than when we go to SeaWorld and the kids literally can't do anything but ride a carousel horse.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
No doubt.
Bobby goes on one ride at Universal.
Which one?
Popeyes. Over and over and over. And
Wait,
over.
what kind of ride is that?
A water ride.
Okay.
You get
Nice.
soaked.
I'm trying to remember which one it is. Is it a kid ride, though? So I probably never rode it.
I mean, no, it's an adult ride.
Is this at Universal or Islands Adventure?
Universal? Islands.
Okay.
It's in Toonland.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, what is your kid's favorite park at Disney?
Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom only.
That's so
huh?
crazy.
100%.
No Animal Kingdom.
I mean, they like it, but for them, like,
Yeah.
literally, it's the safari, and if nobody's doing anything interesting, they don't care.
What,
and then
what
the
about
Pandora
MGM
ride.
Studios now that they have all, like, the Slinky and all the bumper
I
cars
love
and
that,
all that?
shit, but they don't. I mean, the Slinky Dog is like probably one of the best roller coasters.
I
they
love that
have.
little game they have where you shoot
can-
and you got to get the score.
Oh yeah,
We did it
that's-
multiple times because, like, I wanted to freaking win.
Yeah,
I
that's the
couldn't
Toy
win.
Mania one.
That
Yeah,
was
that's.
fun.
But they won't wear the glasses, the 3D glasses. I'm like, guys, this must look
Oh, yeah.
insane to you right now. Like, put
Yeah.
the glasses on and look. But they just like
Yeah.
sit there and look around at all the.
Can you wear 3D glasses? Does it make you sick?
No, mm-mm.
Oh, it makes me so nauseous.
No, I can do it.
I can't
Yeah,
do it.
no problem.
It freaks me out.
Yeah, just put them
Can't
right
do
over
it.
my glasses.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope.
Just put me right in the realm. You
I'm
want
just-
to do the VR?
No.
We can
I
put you in
will,
VR.
I will throw up.
You can
Rachel,
walk
it's
the
so
plank.
crazy.
We could watch you walk the plank, or you go up on a high rise and then
My-
walk on a little board over top of.
My
the
uncle
city.
had-
Oh,
No,
it's
I
just
can't
like
do it.
soaring. Fuck that
It's
ride.
so funny.
I can't ride that
Hey,
ride.
Oh,
Soaring.
see, I can do soaring.
I can't do
but
it.
I cannot do the VR. It gives me a headache. Makes me sick.
Rockstar Thad, when I gave him the
Yeah.
when I gave him the little thing to walk on the plank,
Yeah.
he went onto his knees and crawled out onto it on the carpet.
That's a smart move.
I
think
did
would do
too.
the same.
I did the same shit.
You just want to make sure you're safe because
That's
it's so
so
fucking
funny.
You
real.
Yeah.
really feel like when you get up there, you
For
like, you're like,
sure.
oh, like it,
I
like
can't.
it's intense.
For sure.
Yeah. They have all kinds of cool games now. They got these games called Tag
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, the Gorilla Tag, where they run around playing tag. You know, Silas will be sitting in here for about an hour. He'll get done. He plays about an hour. He says after that, he goes, it gets a little weird.
Yeah.
Like you know, you can get a little bit of
Yeah.
a headache and whatnot. He is laughing his ass off with other kids and they're all trying to teach each other how to complete a course or to do something or how to solve something. And like when I see that, it reminds me of when I was a kid and like Counter-Strike or some of these internet games, right when you first got internet and you can go on AOL Instant Messenger and chat with your friend.
Yeah.
Fuck the Bucks, you know, fuck the Giants, they're going to suck this year.
Oh my God.
You know, and all this, you know, and like you go in like to somebody's fan group and you act like you're a fan too. You're like, oh, the Giants, are they like going to win
Oh
this
my
year and they're
God.
going to be good and stuff? You know, like, no, because they blow. And then you run out of the chat
Yeah.
room real quick, you know. That was the shit
Chat
back
room.
then.
Away messages.
Where did we go?
ICQ and all this stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, where are we at now?
I guess we got to bring up Casey Anthony, don't we?
Casey.
Because
If we're going to have a crime cast fully, I feel like she needs to be put in the equation.
Yeah.
That will happen
Especially
in
with the new-
Orlando.
yeah.
How long ago was it?
2008. 9.
9.
2009.
Yeah.
God, it's so long ago.
So crazy.
But when you say the number, like, we're old.
So
We're
Like,
old.
we're old.
we're only
15
bringing this
years
up because Rachel's just now
13?
watched the
Yeah.
show on Peacock.
Yes.
That's basically
Thank
trying
you,
to
Scott.
say
It's her side of the story.
her side of the story. I couldn't get through the whole thing.
She doesn't
I-
even say her side of the story.
Like, I watched it right when
really.
it came out.
I mean,
No.
Yeah, she just.
So what did you watch, Colleen? What did you see?
I mean, because I watched it when it first came out, and it was a while ago that it came out. So
What
I
do
don't
you
really
remember?
I just remember the fact that the way that she talks so matter of factly and how much she believes whatever she does believe, it was very, very jarring to me to be like, whoa, like I remember living through this shit. It was in our backyard.
So do you feel like she was trying to, at the beginning, what made you not want to watch it is you were watching a lie that she was trying to like push a
Yes.
narrative that you
Yes.
didn't believe?
Yeah, yeah, because it's like I felt like I was like, man, like not everybody, we couldn't have been this wrong, like when we were watching it all unfold, and like Rachel was trying to point out things to me about like, you know, maybe sexual abuse from her dad might have played a factor, and at the time I definitely didn't take that into consideration, but now too, I also didn't have kids when I was watching that, and now having kids, it's very disturbing to watch somebody like just. I guess I just can't get to that point to wherever she was in her head when she knew her daughter was not alive, that she still carried on the way she did
Yep.
for so long. That's what I can't get past.
There's like a
Like,
detachment. there.
how was she able to
do
that
Yep.
is always going to be something I'll never, ever be able to grasp.
And especially like everybody in the nation and other countries probably even watch that.
Yeah.
But like we were right here and
Yeah.
it was just in Orlando.
Like people were literally our friends searching for her.
and,
you know.
and we like everybody kind of knew somebody who knew somebody
Yes.
who
Right,
kind of
right.
it was like kind of it hit home.
Yes.
And we all were watching that shit every
Glued
day.
Glued.
For sure.
To whatever. Every little news and tidbit every day and every hour.
Talking about Orlando and like, oh, I know where her car was found. I know that Avis parking lot. I know that, you know, it's like that check and go play. Like it was in our backyards for real.
Yeah.
Like, it was so unreal.
Funny that you say that. Katie Rake and I were driving in Orlando one night, and Katie was like, "Oh, those are the apartments Casey was at." That.
Yeah.
And Katie Rake was from
Yeah.
Orlando. But Marley was born in 2008, so
Okay.
she was about a year old when this was unfolding. And even then, it didn't bother me. I guess I am a sociopath. Anyways, what got me during the trial itself, remember when George Anthony locked himself in a hotel room
Yeah, that was weird.
and tried to kill himself
Yeah.
after the sexual abuse
Good point.
allegations
I
came
wanted
out.
to bring that up.
So at that time, I was like, oh, fuck. It bothered him so much that his daughter would accuse him of molesting her and his granddaughter, that he wanted to take his own life. Now, looking back on it, I'm like, oh, shit, that motherfucker had something to hide.
You think so, really?
Absolutely.
I believe that wholeheartedly.
And especially after watching the Casey Anthony interview and how upset. Some of her tears seemed fake to me, but some of them were very, very real and raw. And most of those tears were when she was talking about the abuse from her father.
Maybe I'll try to go back
Hey,
and rewatch it.
and
It's just-
listen to
ugh.
me. The last subject, I'm like, I ain't gonna say opinions on
Yeah.
what I think because I know people.
Dive in,
But
Scott.
then now I'm over here. And we're talking about
Let's
Casey.
go,
They're like,
let's go.
that bitch and her dad did
Yeah.
it too, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like I just
I don't like when the
There
whole
was
thing
kids
is playing out.
involved in.
Like,
Yeah.
like I mean, the only thing that when I was watching it, and at first I found myself not trying to side with her, but trying to figure this out, and I was like, okay, maybe she was just used to her dad taking care of everything, right?
Right.
And so he did this. He's gonna take care of it. She has to put up the facade because it's always worked out that way, and this just didn't work out that way. And then, but then it's like you see the videos of her in jail and like the conversations and just this and that, and it's like, oh my god, what the fuck? Like, I don't know.
I think choose words wisely here. I think that she was absolutely abused by her father.
Yeah.
Okay.
agree.
I also think that her mother was a tyrant, and
I agree.
She
I think she probably drove her husband crazy.
yes.
And he did shit behind her back.
Yes.
And I think things happened that she was not either naive or knew about, but like chose to push through and be Supermom regardless.
Correct.
What
there
they
was
want to put the
some-
facade up that they're a perfect family,
like,
right? That's what
whatever-
Casey kept saying the whole
Correct.
time.
Yeah.
And I believe wholeheartedly she adored and loved her child. I really do think that at some point George started abusing Kaylee as well, because I sent you that message. Who says that?
Yeah, that was creepy to read
Yep.
it when you typed it out like that.
And I'll tell you what too is I have a problem, and I didn't get to watch the whole thing, and maybe my problem here might be solved. You watched all of it.
Yes.
I'm only a few episodes in right now, so I've got Casey Anthony's story of that it wasn't me, as my father. My father used to do this to me, and then he was doing it to my daughter. Well, then why were you leaving her there?
That
Why would if
Right.
you were
Correct.
a girl that happened to?
correct.
My first thought is like the things that happened to me as a child, whether whatever degree of a good or bad they were, however it affected me now. I try to take the past mistakes and the ones that I label as wrong and not repeat them
Correct.
with my children or with, you always learn from your parents' mistakes, right? And
Correct.
they preach to you to do that, right? I want you to be a better version of me. If I'm Casey Anthony and I have a child and that happened to me with my family, my whole goal in life would be to get away from them
Right.
and raise that child away from them. Not fuck your help, fuck everything about you guys.
Right.
I'm going to go do this on my own because you did this to me.
So, in part of that interview, she did say that she was trying to stockpile money and work as much as she could to move out of the house. I also
Well, they did live away from the house a few times, so it was like a
correct.
back and
yeah,
a forth
it was
thing.
back and forth. It's hard being a young mom and,
Oh,
and
I
single
totally
mom.
listen. I totally get it. And we all
Respect.
had our back and forths back in the day. I did. I know.
But I think
I do think she tried to keep him away from her, or because like she's
As much
bringing her
as
to the
she-
boyfriend's house all the time.
as much
like,
as she
Okay.
could have.
I mean, I don't know.
Um,
It's part of that.
That's why
But also, I think in a victim's mind, because at that point she's probably
normalized into it, or it's like
normalized. Yeah, and at that point she knew what he did to her was wrong, but at the same time it was so ingrained to her that it's normal per se in a victim's mind
yeah.
that he won't do it to her. She's too young because it didn't start with me until I was 8. So if I'm out of the house by the time she's my age, maybe I can save her.
Yeah.
One of the points that she remember the rumor was that Jose took her in
Yeah.
after the trial. Remember that?
Yeah.
It wasn't Jose.
It's his team, right?
It was the investigator, the private investigator that was on the defense team. His name is Pat.
Yeah.
Don't remember the last name. He actually took her in. So there's a part in this series where they're talking, and in 15 years, 13 years, however long it's been, they've never talked about it. She lived with him, and they never talked about what happened. In this interview, he kind of asked, and they both said it could have been an accident, but it wasn't a drowning accident. So what they have thought happened was that George smothered her to render Kaylee unconscious so he could do whatever he was going to do.
Oh my god, dude. That makes me
And it
so
went too
fucking
far.
Sick.
But Pat starts to cry in this interview with Casey. I don't.
That, you know what?
It's very.
when you
it's
just
very
I never
plausible.
really like. There was part where I heard something about her talking about her dad smothering, you know, for a pass out thing. But when I came to, I always knew something had happened,
Right.
and I didn't reckon. Like
Right.
when she was telling those stories, man, they sounded believable.
Yeah, they did.
And because
they-
it is. Because this is
Yeah.
actually happens to a lot of people. Did it
And-
happen to Casey? Who knows? But yeah, I mean,
The part where it bothers me is where she went, like you said, the Zenaida stuff and all these
Yeah.
back around, running
Yeah.
around while the missing was happening.
correct.
So, like, what were you doing? Were you just trying to get all your parties out before you knew you were going to jail, or what?
That could be. But also, people who go through trauma like that have a very weird
Way of
way of dealing with it.
Yeah.
You know, some people go and they drink till they fucking render themselves unconscious. Some people kill themselves. You know.
we all have a vice that we
It-
go to that helps
right.
us cope with something
Right.
that's happened to us.
And I think that maybe after all this stuff happened with George and Kaylee, if anything happened,
Mm-hmm.
all the stuff that George might have done to Casey just fucked her up.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that she's innocent in any of it, because I mean she could be the one that you know.
Yeah.
But
As soon as the father tried to commit suicide over there, when the case was going on, and that was this whole thing,
yep,
it told me that he knew
something's gonna come out.
he knew what happened,
Yeah.
and either he's protecting his daughter so she doesn't go, or he did something and he feels so bad of what he did and then what he's putting his daughter through.
So the other
Those were the two things
Yes.
during that time of the case that
Yep.
I took away from that
Yep.
case.
Yeah.
well, the whole Peacock thing also came out, and George was the one that was the only one that testified in the indictment, other than the police, and it was a death penalty case against his own daughter. Really fucking. So
Wow.
and he didn't know about the sexual abuse allegations until the trial started. So he was already the state's witness before Jose said anything about molestation.
Wow.
It just gives it a different, again,
that they
no, George was never looked at. Okay, but George literally lied to you too, but you're not going, like,
I feel like, see, when it comes to these type of case system, they work in they have
Yeah.
a different process
Yep.
than what we are just saying what hard it takes and how expensive it is. They're saying we have this much money to work with. We have this many people we can put on the case.
Right.
We have
Right.
this we can do.
Yeah.
And unless they're putting people on those cases that have the best interest at heart of finding the truth,
yeah.
and humans are we fuck up and we hide and we have biases and we fuck things up all the time.
I think the other
We
reason,
ruin that perfect system.
I think the other reason is George was an ex-cop.
Mm-hmm.
So the way he presented himself to the police,
Oh, yeah.
he inserted himself right into the investigation right away.
There are many books out there, okay, that you can read
Yep.
that teaches you how to word everything.
Oh, yeah.
Based on
Oh,
who
yeah.
they are,
Yep.
if you're in an interview for a job, whether you're being everywhere,